welcome to the Women in Law Lunch and Learn webinar. The subject today is nutrition and fitness. We've got Veera Stannard joining us, and we're really looking forward to hearing what she's got to say.
Cool, thank you. So yeah, well, first of all, thank you, Hasala, for having me. I'm really excited. So I thank you for everybody else who's joining on as well. So I think we're just going to talk through what the title of today will be: how to stay on top of your nutrition and exercise during uncertain times. So all I'm going to do is I'm not going to preach anything. I'm just going to share some tools, techniques and things which are working for me right now and for our family, and also which works for our clients. So yeah, and I think the information which I'm going to give to people is going to be nothing complicated, because the nutrition and exercise world is already made really complex. So I think we need to simplify. So the stuff which I will be sharing will be quite simple, but we all know that simple things are really easy to do, but also really easy not to do. So yeah, so just a little bit of like a background about me. So here I am. So I am from Estonia originally. So I used to represent Estonia in 800 meters in the track and field, so I used to be a professional athlete. I'm also a co-founder of the Luxury Fitness Retreat, and we run private retreats in Portugal. I'm also based as a personal trainer in Manchester, so the Larry Hotel, so Helen is based there with me. And also I'm an online female transformation coach, so I work with people online, and corporate wellness consultant. So me and my husband are going into the corporate companies and host workshops, seminars, Q&A sessions, anything to do with exercise, nutrition, and stress management, so all that kind of stuff. And I'm also a pre- and postnatal qualified, so that's, yeah, so mums and pre-mums and all that stuff. But also, apart from my professional world, I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, and I'm a sister. So yeah, so that's me. So what we're going to go through is just briefly, I'm going to say, we're just going to talk about practical nutrition tips, so things that you can focus on, things that you can have a look what you can do and improve. Then we're going to move into the exercise tip. I'm going to touch a little bit on the sleep, so how important is that, and how we can really focus on improving that right now. And I'm just going to chat through briefly my tools, so things which I've used and worked for me and used for my clients. And yeah, then we're going to jump through the Q&A, so if anybody's got any questions. So there is always this kind of connection with like a fitness pro that you think that you're going to ask a stupid question. So everybody, if you want to, like, there's no stupid question, just ask, and we can cover anything that you might be unsure about, or you want to know more about, or how to apply certain things into your life. So nutrition. So we're going to kick off with one of the most important things, which people really maybe most of us don't do or find it hard ever to do, is hydration. So 65% of our body, it is actually made from water. So we need to make sure that we're staying hydrated, because if we are hydrated, it means that our energy levels will be higher, that we might be snacking less throughout the day, and actually we might be having quite a lot of headaches, which could be related to the dehydration. So also one of the interesting points is our brain doesn't know the difference between the hunger and thirst. So sometimes when we feel like we want to snack or eat something, it could actually be the simple sign of a dehydration. So a really good tool to use is, instead of reaching out for the food, you could actually have a glass of water before that, because it could actually be just the thirst rather than the hunger. So like a lot of people who I work with, as soon as I get their hydration levels up, they actually find themselves that they're snacking less, which is obviously helps if you are working on your weight loss, fat loss, so yeah, goals. So hydration, and the roughly guidance I would say for the hydration is about 1 litre per 25 kilos, so 1 litre per 50 pounds, isn't it, in pounds? for your hydration levels. So that's something for you to maybe have a look and calculate. I would not go over 3 liters of water because that's quite a lot. But just to see like where you are right now. The other thing is to see how much are you drinking now and move on from that. So instead of, let's say, if you're only drinking half a litre of water right now, maybe just focus on gradually increasing that rather than going, from 1 litre straight to the 2.5 if you have to be drinking that. So like little steps to just increase that a little bit. And a good, like a checker point, if you're going for a wee, that your hydration should be, your wee should be clear. That's when you know that you are hydrated. So yeah, a lot of people like finding themselves that they might have to go to the toilet more often. There's nothing wrong with that, unless it's really often. Then it might mean that you actually getting rid of the water pretty fast out of your system, but then it will be another worry. I would then just have a look into whether you need electrolytes adding in or anything else like that. But most of the time, for the most people, we don't drink enough, so people can focus on that, and that can really help with everything else in terms of the food and food choices and your snacking levels and your cravings. So breakfast is on there because I tend to find that breakfast is one of the most important meals, and you could sometimes set the whole day up. So how you're going to do with your nutrition for the rest of the day. And I would say, because we tend to move less right now, I would probably focusing on having a higher protein, high fiber breakfast rather than going for high sugary, high carb breakfast. So like try to maybe like stay away from cereal, like porridge, because we are more likely not to move as much throughout the day. And also if you are starting your day with high carb, high sugary breakfast, you are more likely to stimulate the sugar level really high and be hungry more often, and your body just wants more and more. So I would look into the moving on to like things like eggs, any types of eggs to have in the morning with some greens on there, avocado, spinach, salmon, smoked salmon, maybe some chicken sausages, and yogurt with fruits. So the Greek yogurt, I can recommend certain brands which are really good out there. But breakfast can like play a really important role, and it can really impact how your day is gonna run in terms of how much you're gonna eat. And I tend to see with the clients as well, if you start with a high carb breakfast, that you tend to overeat throughout the day because you're constantly playing with the sugar levels. So yeah, that's kind of where the breakfast is from. And fiber, obviously, like I said, the high protein, high fiber, it could be anything with vegetables or like spinach, avocado, mashed avocado. It can be some tomatoes or omelette, just to get the fiber in and the protein in. In terms of the meals throughout the day, I would probably say that in this time right now, because we spend a lot of time at home, well, most of our time, we're going to be more likely to eat what we have in the house. So I tend to prepare my foods not like in the front of not for the week, but like have a couple of days set meals, because I feel like if I am set up what I'm going to have, I am more likely to stick to it. So rather than leaving everything to the chance, so especially when I've been on other episodes with Sally, like people saying that they're working really long hours and probably even longer than what they did before. So if you have not got something which is prepped for you there, you will be more likely to go for that fast kind of option, what is there, so I can like really quick something. But if you have something prepared for you there and then, and you just literally need to warm up in a microwave, then that's great. I mean, the weather is getting better, so I feel like now moving towards the summer, salads work like really well, because obviously the sun is shining, you can enjoy a beautiful salad. Or easy stuff like to do, you can literally bake like roasted root vegetables on like a tray and just throw it all in and just make that. But the preparation in times like now, I think really key. But it doesn't have to be like I cook every other day. Like I'm not saying prepare like a Tupperware for the whole week. It's just a little bit of preparation could be really useful, because you're going to tend to just eat what you have. And Sally obviously mentioned a lot to me before about like people like tend to bake, like what to do about that, because obviously when we bake we get quite a lot of flour and carbohydrates and fat and all that. So my recommendation on that would be is if you do bake, there is a lot of healthier options on the internet, whatever you are trying to make. If there are stuff which you do want to bake and you want to enjoy, rather than thinking that you're overeating or taking your calories really high, then try to maybe reduce certain carbohydrates with your meals. So if you made, I don't know, like I made a cheesecake the other day, and I just tried on that day to have my carbohydrate levels a little bit in control. So I had less rice, less pasta. It was more like a vegetable based lunch and a dinner, and then I could just enjoy my baking stuff. So that kind of like an advice, because if you have really rich dinner or high carb dinner, and then you're going to have another cake on the top of that, you want to enjoy it, but you don't want to feel guilty about it. So it's just something to think about. If you're baking, if you are making desserts at home with the children, then you could just make sure that your other meals have a little bit less of carbs than what you normally would have. And most of the stuff which we would eat full of carbohydrates would be your pasta, your rice, and a lot of potatoes, so there's things like that, just to reduce it a little bit, so you can enjoy your cheesecakes and baking stuff. So so that's on there with nutrition. So that's how I would approach it at the minute. And the other tip, I know the people who have children, it could be a bit more of a challenge, but if you are single or you're with a partner, I would say if you don't have something in your cupboard, like, you're not going to eat it. So I tend to, at the minute, because I have a toddler, so she doesn't eat that many sweets. Well, she doesn't eat any at all, to be honest, because I don't give her any. But I just, if I have something in my cupboard, I am going to eat it. And now, like, more important than ever, because we are at home, I just tend to not to have anything which I would just snack on or go for, because I did start at the beginning of the lockdown. I did buy crisps and chocolate, and I just end up thinking, oh my God, I've just killed a bag of crisps in one evening. So I have a rule to myself: don't buy it, and then I won't be tempted, because it's not going to be there. But I do understand it could be a bit of a challenge with the children. But however, like I suggested to my clients to say, try to maybe make stuff like a banana bread with the children, try to bring the fruits out so that you don't feel tempted, but also if it doesn't affect them as well. So say that you are on a health kick in this lockdown time. So yeah, that's with nutrition. So in terms of the exercise, I would say really important is daily steps. So how much do you move throughout the day? And I know a lot of people are going to have a real struggle with that, because they have to work long hours. So when you're also stuck in a house, I would say if you have 5-10 minutes break in between calls and you have a garden, just try to move, try to get out, try to stand up, because our body designed to move. And do pay attention how much, don't get obsessed, but do pay attention how many steps are you managing a day. So ideally we should be aiming for about 10,000 a day. And a lot of us might be feeling like we move around a lot in the house and we've done loads, but then you look and you think, oh my God, I've only done like 2,000, and that's just a lunchtime. So I guess on the part will be to boost them steps is when you go for an hour loud walk, run, or whatever. But do make sure that you move your body, because you're more likely to use the food which you have eaten throughout the day a little bit better, and don't just leave it all of them for that hour, because the chances are we're not going to reach 10,000 steps in an hour, unless you are a runner and you go like for a half an hour run or 40 minutes run. And if you don't have children, because I know it's not possible right now to do a lot of running and also take them out for a fresh air as well. So the other recommendation would be, I would recommend shorter workouts, so they're more time efficient. So when they are, especially if it's like a body weight or you have a dumbbells or some equipment at home, just to try to keep them short, because again, people who work from home will be lacking of time, and you're less likely to do it. So just get the heart rate up, work it through it, and yeah, it's that time efficient, it's really effective, and it's also really good a stimulus for the muscles, so they don't forget to what you were doing. So let's say if you used to go to the gym and you have nothing at home, there are plenty of YouTube workouts, or you can join in live classes, or but just keep them short if you don't have that much time. And just get the heart rate up, just work hard for 20 minutes and then you're done. I have a couple of recommendations of like my clients. So some of them actually walk while they're working. So I don't know if anyone can apply that, but I thought it was a great idea. So she takes calls while she's on her walk. So which is brilliant, because as she said, if I'm on the calls mid-morning, I can just go for a walk and make notes on my phone. So you're kind of moving while you're walking, which is like a bit of a multitask. So like, again, if you're a mother and you're struggling to get the steps in or to get moving, that could be one of the good like options, a good way around that. So I thought that was quite good actually. When she said to me, I was like, that is a good level of multitasking there. So, and also in this challenging different times, I would look at exercise more. So for me, like for example, right now, I don't look at it as a massive like calorie burn, or I don't do my sessions to as a calorie burn. For me, it's more to bring my mood back, or it's like a mood booster. So as soon as I start feeling a bit of a dip in how I feel, or I start feeling a little bit low or really irritated by something, or I tend to just start to move. And it doesn't have to be long, it can be literally your warm up, but it's something about just getting the body moving. So if you do start to feel that you're having a bit of a dip in the move, you can literally get off your chair and I don't know, do some squats, do some jumping jacks, just something, just to get the body moving and get those endorphins flowing, and it can really help. Like at the minute, for example, I set my day in the morning where I just get up, my little girl eats, and I go for 20 minutes jog. I don't go fast, I don't try to beat records, I just go for that 20 minutes just to get my headspace and be like away from everybody, just to listen to somebody, to something like a podcast, but it's like really get my day set up and then I feel good then for the rest of the day. So something to think about. So don't look as an exercise as, oh, I need to do this an hour workout. You don't. You just need to do something which is going to make you feel better, which is just moving. Just moving will be really, really good, whatever it is, whatever exercise it is, whatever types of exercise it is, even if it's Zumba, and then I wanted to touch up on sleep. So I think for some people it could be a really good opportunity, because we don't travel, we don't change like beds if people traveling when they're working in a normal environment. We can really catch up on our sleep, and sleep could be really important for in terms of your health fitness goals, because sleep can actually help you to manage your stress levels. So it is really good for that. So if you're keeping your stress levels low, then you will be more likely to drop a body fat, you will be more likely to digest food better, and you'll be likely not to hold on to extra water, which is normally happens when we lack of sleep or we don't have enough sleep. So and also like quality of sleep is also more important than a quantity. So we all know we can sleep for 9 hours but then feel so tired for the rest of the day. So quality is more important than quantity, but at the minute I think it's a good opportunity to do get sleep. And I think even by watching TV late at night, it can really affect how we sleep. Going through the emails late at night, it can also affect the sleep. So but I think we should use this opportunity that we can't go anywhere, we can't travel, to really focus on improving the sleep. And also people who are, for example, wanting to lose weight or drop body fat, like I spoke to my clients, that they actually feel so much better. Like they're actually feeling like their waist is coming down because they're sleeping, because they're not up at 4 o'clock to get to London for the meetings and stuff. So it could be a really good opportunity to focus on improving sleep. And why it's important as well, most of our growth hormones peaks when we sleep, and one of the times which the growth hormone does peak is at 10 o'clock and at 12 o'clock. So if you tend to not to go to bed before like midnight, you are more likely not to get any growth hormones, which is keeping us young. So the growth hormone is the hormone which keeps us young. So that's really important, I think, for everybody, because most of the people on this will be not the 18 years old youngsters. So so sleep in terms of growth hormones is really important as well. And when we sleep well, we also tend to, I feel like if we have a good night's sleep, I see with a lot of clients that it sets them up for a day really well. So it helps you to make a better food. You are more likely to make a better food choices as well. So you are less likely to go and reach out for something which is going to give you like an instant gratification. So it is most of the time will be your carbohydrates rich food. So if you slept well, you feel good, and you're going to be less likely to snack. And you're going to be less likely to go for the high carbohydrates rich foods. So that with the sleep, so really focus on that while we have the opportunity to do so. I mean, I know that people who have young children and toddlers, and they might say, oh my god, no, I can't do that now. But yeah, so for the majority of us, this is a good opportunity to do so. In terms of the mindset tools, what works for me, for my clients, is I know a lot of people do the first thing in the morning meditation, which could help a lot of people who have high levels of anxiety. So you can really calm the mind. It can literally be 5-10 minutes. It doesn't have to be anything long. Like you can find loads of different videos on YouTube, so just to calm the mind and then go into the day with more at peace state, rather than worrying about everything and things are happening which are out of our control right now. I tend to do in the morning gratitude, so just write down 3 to 5 things which you are grateful for, because I feel like it puts us into the position of actually being thankful for what we have instead of focusing on what's going wrong. So be really kind of thankful that we do still we're alive. I don't know, we have health, we have food on the table. So stuff like that, I think it just changes you. Instead of thinking, oh my god, everything just gets worse, it gets you into a bit of a positive state. I tend to read nowadays more because I feel like I've got more time for it. So reading could be quite good. So I've gone back to my old habit, reading before bed rather than going on my phone. So I think we can read a little bit more because we obviously have, some people have more time. But yeah, and then I really like the idea of power list. So I've taken that off somebody who has a podcast, and the power list is literally your list that you prepare for the next day. So you write 5 things which you're going to do tomorrow. So you kind of like set the day for the next day. And so what it does is, like, for me anyway, so when I write stuff I'm going to do it tomorrow, is at the end of the next day I just cross it off if I have done it. And it makes me feel, I don't know, there's something about the crossing the pen on the paper that you've done it. So it's kind of like make you feel a bit of like a sense of achievement. So the day has been great. So in terms of, you know, if people want to make it towards like fitness side or include it into your list, it could be anything like, you know, I'll have 3 healthy meals tomorrow, or I will exercise, or I will move. So it's kind of like giving you a bit of a sense of achievement on a day. So I feel like, because nowadays we can feel a little bit like, oh, where is this day gone? You know, what have I done? Because we don't feel either as productive, or we don't know what's going to happen. So we can focus on things which is going to make us feel in control and make us feel better, and we can feel that we're still achieving something, rather than just think that this time is just going past and we're not doing anything with it. So that's kind of the stuff which I use for my own life and for my clients. So yeah, and obviously this is just about me. So in terms of my online program, so we do a group coaching right now, which is online with my husband. So that is in a group, runs through the group. So we just introducing have nutritional habits for the people to follow on a weekly basis. We give people body weight training routines for the great like calorie burn, but it's also short. And we do with people group support and accountability in a weekly Q&A. And my online one-to-one coaching is I just create a bespoke training plan to my client, and then it's a nutrition plan, weekly private online check-ins, and my private support and accountability. So I've put our Inspire Retreat social details there, and then if you want to reach out to me, there is an email, and you can add me on the Facebook, or if you have any questions, you can reach out and I can help if you need help with anything or advice or anything.
Well, that was really awesome. Thank you so much for joining us this lunchtime. Veera, that was absolutely brilliant. And I know you simple things, but you know, we all need it, especially now in this time.
Yeah.
And you know, and especially when some of us can't leave the house, so we have to find alternatives as well. So it's been really insightful.